Jumps it off to Brooks. Got it off in time! It's a 2, but he got it off in time!
It has been a great year for Dillon Brooks extracting vengeance upon and getting under the skin of the Los Angeles Lakers, and specifically his mortal enemy, the bear that he pokes, LeBron James. And last night was no different in what turned into a convincing Rockets W. Dicey for a little bit. At the very end, the Rockets did let the Lakers at least have a pulse down the stretch. But we're talking about the kind of pulse where it was a slightly less than double-digit lead. It was a convincing win throughout. But the best part was not that Jalen Green has strung together a couple of good games in a row, that he set Dillon Brooks up with that extra pass right there, that Alperen Şengün had another awesome game. He's the best player on the Rockets. There's no denying it. It's not even Cam Whitmore doing some very fun stuff out there. It is 100% the Dillon Brooks show. Because it wasn't just that the Rockets beat the Lakers again this year. It was also that Dillon Brooks caused fights with the Los Angeles Lakers this year. So officially, the season series is now done. It's 2 games apiece that they split it. But I don't know. This is a great way to move on to next year, unless there's a theoretical bubble tournament rematch, which is certainly possible at this moment in time. It all started with about 11:03 to go in the second quarter. Jared Vanderbilt, a Laker, slashes through the lane unchecked for a layup. And as he's going up for a layup, Dillon Brooks gave him a one-arm semi-shove from behind. It didn't seem like it was a very hard shove, Sean. I don't know what your read was on it. He definitely shoved him from behind, but I didn't feel like it was a very forceful shove.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where when you play basketball and you're up in the air and someone gives you like even a little bit of a push in the back for basically no reason, like people flip out because you're in air. If someone pushes your legs basically out from under you, now you're like at serious risk of injury. So it's one of those things. I mean, it's basically how he hurt Gary Payton II against the Warriors, the Grizzlies versus the Warriors.
That's true. That one a lot more forceful, though. This was a one-arm shove, and I got to say, Vanderbilt flopped and made a crying face as it happened. Like
Houston's own Jared Vanderbilt. Speaking of basketball city.
Disavowed after that specific moment right there. Yeah, he's defenseless. Don't do that. Bad look by Dillon Brooks. But Vanderbilt probably made it more dangerous for himself by falling to the earth as if he had been shot by a sniper in the rafters in that moment in time. You know me, I'm a football hardo. I'm the kind of guy who likes to hard foul a person or two while playing a pickup game at the Y and then just saying, I play football. I play football. I'm that guy. So for basketball people, I'm probably the worst. But I thought it was a subtle push. So you know that because it's Dillon Brooks, this is something that is going to lead to more pushing and shoving. And we got it less than a minute of action later. So Austin Reeves shoots a shot. He makes it. Brooks and Vanderbilt are jostling underneath. After Reeves makes it, Vanderbilt gives Brooks an extra shove. And Brooks exaggerates on his own end here. So Vanderbilt gets called for a technical. And the camera zooms away for a moment, but Vanderbilt walks up to Dillon Brooks and pokes him in the back of the head. And he gets double teed and he's out. Per ESPN, a Lakers player said that Brooks called Vanderbilt a meow during that exchange. Vanderbilt, for his part, left after the game without speaking to reporters. I love seeing Dillon Brooks get under the skin of other players. And this was 100% a thing where if he was playing for another team, we would hate it. But God, isn't it fun? Especially if they're wearing purple and gold. I love seeing that. You heard the buzzer beater that he hit right before halftime, but we're not done with the Dillon Brooks show, which has nothing to do with actual basketball and has everything to do with the WWE, which I think Dillon Brooks would be a nice addition to. Say the NBA ever bans him for life, which is okay, maybe not that strong of a possibility, but it's certainly not 100% off the table. 5:45 to play in the game. There's a loose ball underneath the rim after a missed shot. Dillon Brooks jumps behind LeBron and tips the ball once and then tries to tip it again. Did he need to try to tip it again? I don't know. The second tip, he just hits LeBron in the face. And LeBron, who, despite being a tank of a human being, certainly doesn't mind embellishing, fell to the court like he got shot, took forever to get up, got mad at the refs, and then missed both free throws. That part was the best. Brooks was charged with a flagrant 1. I think that LeBron wanted a flagrant 2. More than anything, I wish that we had a camera in that moment, just for that entire moment, zoom in on Ime Udoka to see if he mouthed anything, to see if the comment, soft ass boy, was said again. Because I gotta say, LeBron's embellishment and acting would certainly lend itself to Ime being more mad. And to Dillon's credit, there was a moment where it seemed like the Lakers were rallying, and then they had a moving screen where they hit Dillon Brooks a little bit too hard. If Brooks can take this punishment and continue to get under the skin of the opposition, good. Like, I'm pumped. I'm pumped watching Dillon Brooks play basketball. He makes you want to get in a squab. And it's a regular season basketball game. Yes, this is obviously a basketball town, as I said in the first segment. But how often do you get really into a game against a team that, yes, is the Lakers and has LeBron, but is also not really a contender? Not very often. But Dillon Brooks makes it a little bit more exciting to watch basketball, even if the game doesn't have high stakes attached to it. 713-780-3776 to call in, to text in as well. You can join us on YouTube, our new YouTube channel, at ESPN Houston. We do have some comments. Desert Stro says, this means a little bit more because LeBron and AD both played. Also, continue Desert Stro, remember when the Lakers passed up on Cam Whitmore? It is crazy that Cam Whitmore is playing the way that he's playing. I mean, this is the later of your 2 first-round picks. And, we'll see with Amen Thompson, but, I mean, Whitmore looks like a steal right now. What's his ceiling? I don't know. All I know is, the Rockets, for all the people that get upset with the inconsistency of Jalen Green, which is definitely valid at times, some of the young players on this team are certainly fun to watch. Whitmore's the most recent. You already have Tari Eason and Sean Mapes. And then throw a little Dillon Brooks on top of everything just to add a little wrestling to your basketball. I think it's fun theater.
Yeah. And as far as the Cam Whitmore stuff goes, like there has to be like 15 teams that are like, wait, why do we pass on this guy again? Because he was in the range where it was possible the Rockets took him 4th instead of Amen Thompson.
That was the talk going into the draft. I remember that, saying Whitmore's a possibility in the top 10, but no one's 100% sure. And what was it, Sean, that was held against him? His character? The guy...
Well, there's also rumors of bad medicals, and then he also didn't interview well. Okay. And then some of that later got attributed to just like, that's just his personality, is that he's not like very like talkative or like, he's just not a guy who would interview well.
Okay.
He's just plays basketball. And let me tell you,
plays it very well.
Pretty good at it. So yeah, that's something where like the entire league has to look at each other and be like, what the hell are we doing? Especially because there's the stretch in before the Rockets picked him at 20 where it was like Lakers, Heat, Warriors. So it's 3 teams that are thought of themselves as contenders and could definitely use an immediate impact rookie. And the Heat did pick a pretty good player with Hawkes, but those 3 teams have to be looking at themselves like, wait, we just blew it? Meanwhile, the Rockets, between Cam Whitmore and Sengun and Tari Eason. The Rockets have dominated the late teens to 20s of
Seriously.
the draft. They've taken everyone's lunch after you get past the lottery.
Right. So maybe the top 5 picks aren't where you want them to be. But if you're nailing it later and you still have the top 5 picks on the team, there's still always hope.
Yeah, I mean, and, like, Jabari's still awesome. Like, Jabari Smith versus Tari Eason is, like, pretty close as to who's, like, better today. And obviously, Smith has a little bit more upside, like, long-term. But then you look at the 21 draft, Sengun, I mean, Jalen's played better now, but Sengun's maybe an all-star. And then it's too early to tell. I mean, because Thompson missed so much time at the start of the season that's a little bit tough to like ding him as like, oh, hasn't shown as much.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's shown a lot in the limited minutes he's gotten, especially recently with how he plays defense and how he gets the guys running up and down the court, really pushing the pace.
A legitimately earned and heartfelt, non-sarcastic tip of the hat to Rafael Stone in a post-Kevin Porter Jr. world. Legitimately. Now, as Sean said, like you're still looking for more development out of Jalen Green. The last 4 games have at the very least been encouraging. And it's going to be an all-season thing with him. Sean and I have been preaching patience on him, though we do get the frustration from time to time because it's something we've seen over the last couple of years. But, I mean, last night on both fronts here in the city of Houston, officially a basketball town, it was something else. Dillon the Villain, Jalen Green, Alpi Şengün, Cam Whitmore, and a Cougs win over Texas. Shout out to our beloved Cougs. One more time. We do have a couple of texts, 713-780-3776. From the 713, y'all wrong, but y'all right about Houston being a basketball town. You get it.
That might be the tagline of the show.
Yes. That's
we're wrong, but we're also right.
Right. Exactly.
It's wrong.
That person gets the show.
But it's right.
I posted that tweet last night and saying that Houston had an upset over Texas, and I was just waiting. I was just waiting for the people who would bite. My guy Alex Del Barrio bit, 5-star even bit. Oh, Texas was the underdog in this game. I was like, no. Houston is a newcomer to the Big 12, and they're an underdog. And that's the mentality they got to take on. Sorry that Kelvin Sampson and I, dogs, sorry that we say eye to eye. Okay?
Did you see the halftime little interview that he did with the reporter where the reporter was like, set up the question as like, what do you need to do in the second half to avoid an upset? And he's like, if they beat us, it won't be an upset. Is what Kelvin Sampson like cut her off.
I like that. I like that.
No, there's no upsets in the Big 12. That's
no,
what he said.
There's no upsets in the Big 12. That's for damn sure. Yeah. It's true. So that's why I said, Houston upset Texas.
Because barely a Big 12 team.
Right, but an established Big 12 team versus the new kids on the block. Yeah. So
no, I'm saying U of H, the freshman of the Big 12.
That's true. Right. Sometimes, you got to knock the upperclassmen off.